Hi, this is George Shamon, and in this video I'm gonna go over, like the title says, the how to link a style sheet, a CSS style sheet, to the HTML document. So what I'm gonna be using, again, Visual Studio Code, and I have it up and running here. So let me diminish this. What I'm gonna do, so let's close the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm gonna create a folder. I'm gonna call it training, and I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna create an index.html document. Actually, I can create it in Visual Studio Code. Okay, let me open the training. So starting Visual Studio Code, I'm gonna open the file I just created. Select. Okay, so what I did now, I opened the training folder that I just created on a desktop using Visual Studio Code. Then I can work now inside the Visual Studio Code. So the first is I'm gonna create an index.html file. This is the usually the home page of a website. So, and if you go up to the left here and you click on a plus sign, this plus sign, and you type index.html. So now I have an index.html, an empty document, HTML document. Inside the CSS folder, I'm gonna create a document, a file, and give it the name main.css. This is the style sheet, the CSS style sheet file. So plus CSS, actually main.css, that's how they usually call it. Enter. So now I have basically empty documents. The index.html, that will represent the home page of a website, and then we have the folder, which is the CSS folder, and in the CSS folder I have the main.css for the style sheet. This is where you add your CSS codes to send I'm gonna be using the boilerplate like we mentioned last time. So it's a shortcut where it will populate some of the codes on the top of the page between the heads. So, and the way it works is exclamation mark, enter, you see, exclamation, okay, emit abbreviation. Okay, so this is the boilerplate where it populates some of the codes between the head and the top codes, docu-type HTML, and the language, etc. So in between the head tags, this is where we add the link to the style sheet of the page, and we're talking now about the external style sheet, because there are three types of style sheets, three ways we can use CSS to style an HTML document. The first one is it's the inline, where you add the CSS codes inside the tag of the HTML element, and the second one is the inline. I think the inline. I have to go back, I think, to my CSS, how we use them. The internal, the internal, external, and the inline. Okay, the inline, it's when you type the CSS codes between the tags, between the HTML tags, like these. the body, the HTML, and then you have the internal. You use style tags, and in between you add the CSS codes. This way you don't use the external, you're not using. And this is the third type, and it's the best one and the most organized one. It's the external, where you have the, this is what I'm doing right now, creating a style sheet, CSS style sheet in the main directory, like of the website, and that will be used to direct to style the HTML. You have to go up to the, between the head tags, you enter here and you use the link actually rel, rel, double quotation, style sheet. You use the href equal, and to the location of the style sheet. So it's gonna be the CSS with a closing tag, like the other ones where you use the forward slash and then the closing tag. You just use one, and this is how you use it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure I typed it correctly. I mean, I don't have any error here, so it should be good. So this is the link. You use the link tag, and in between you use rel, standing for relationship, and equal, and in between the double quotation you enter style sheet, and then in the href you type the path to the style sheet, which is in this case main.css inside the CSS folder or directory of a website. We just open the other one. Just want to make sure I typed it correctly. Main open, just to make sure. Actually, the index, I have to open the index. And this is the index here. Notepad. Okay, so let's compare it to this one. Okay, so it's right here, the link tag, rel equal, this is rel equal style sheet, okay, and then href, and then you add the CSS main.css. So that's exactly how we typed it. You may not need the forward slash, this one here. So this is how you link a style sheet, an external style sheet, to a CSS style sheet to the HTML document. In this case, we're using the index.html, and this is our CSS document. And it's the it's in this case, because there are three types of CSS, the way we use them. This one is the external, where you have the main folder on the website, and you include the CSS, the style tags. So you type style and style closing, and then you type in between the CSS codes. This is the internal on each page. And the third one is, you don't use the external or internal, you use the inline, where you type the body here. So you just enter the CSS codes here. This way you don't have to use either. But in this case, it's gonna be very confusing, because it's gonna be very cluttered, and you're gonna have a lot of codes mixed up between the HTML and the CSS. This is why most expert developers will recommend the external style sheet. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know and submit them in a comment. Again, my name is George Shimon, and I want to thank you for visiting and watching this video. So that's it. See you.